India, Nepal, and Bhutan. Nepal is in the north of India, having its borders with the Himalayan belt. India and Nepal have close relations. The border areas of both these countries are free from disputes and are useful for trade and public traffic without interruption. Nepal is a landlocked country and has to establish contacts with other countries through India only. China is another country which has close borders with Nepal. Since it is an overseas country, Nepal always likes to maintain good relations with India. The India-Nepal relations is based on the Friendship and Peace Agreement of 1950. India has been specially helping Nepal in various areas like transport, communication, irrigation, power, forest, education, etc. India and Nepal, who are signatories of 1950 trade agreement, are entitled for tax-free trade. The Maoist rebels who are gaining grounds in the recent years in Nepal have threatened their mutual relations. The mass killing of royal family members in Nepal has brought shame. Recently, the democratic setup is brought into force, ending the age-long monarchy in Nepal. Bhutan. According to 1949 agreement, India has assured Bhutan that it will not interfere in its internal matters. Bhutan has formally agreed to seek India's help while dealing with the foreign affairs. The efforts of India enabled Bhutan to secure a seat in the United Nations. India has extended economic cooperation to Bhutan from 1961 to 1981 and moreover gave complete financial aid for its projects. Bhutan is a member nation of Sri Lanka is an island located to the south. India and Sri Lanka have cordial relations since the times of Ramayana. The missionaries were sent to Sri Lanka by Emperor Ashoka for propagation of Buddhism. The cultural relations between India and Sri Lanka have been further strengthened. Sri Lanka has two prominent communities called Sinhalese and Tamilians. Sinhalese are the original inhabitants of Sri Lanka. Tamilians are the ethnic group living in Sri Lanka. Both these communities have been engaged in constant conflicts. The Tamilians are fighting for their rights and for establishing a new Tamil state within Sri Lanka for the last 2 decades. India still wishes to maintain friendly relations with Sri Lanka. To settle differences, a peaceful solution is being explored by India. India has signed agreement in 1974-76 with Sri Lanka for asserting its right over the Kachatim Islands situated between the Palak Strait. The government of Sri Lanka made a request in 1987 to India to pacify the Tamil militants who were fighting for a separate Tamil state on its soil. Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi, and Sri Lankan President Jayawardene signed an agreement for sending the Indian peacekeeping forces to Sri Lanka. The Tamil community living in Sri Lanka protested the decision taken by India. A futile bid was made to assassinate the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi when he visited Sri Lanka. In spite of these developments, the militant Tamil organization called Liberation of Tamil Tigers Elam, LTTE, assassinated Rajiv Gandhi on 21st of May 1991. India is still trying to maintain good relations with Sri Lanka. After killing of the LTTE chief Vellupillai Prabhakaran, its militant activities have come to a halt. The government of Sri Lanka is bent upon finding solution within the framework of its constitution to the problem. Activity: collect more information on the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi from your teacher and other sources. Bangladesh, which was the part of Pakistan, was called East Pakistan. The struggle for independent state began as early as 1960. The Awami League under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman started a movement. The armed forces of India entered East Pakistan when the human rights were violated there. In 1971 the West Pakistan lost the war and later the East Pakistan emerged as an independent state called Bangladesh. In 1972, the Prime Ministers of India and Bangladesh met in Dhaka and signed a treaty for promotion of friendship, cooperation and peace for 25 years. Consequently, The problems between the two countries found solutions thereafter. The Chakma refugees of Bangladesh who are migrating to India from Chittagong hilly areas smuggle drugs and other problems are yet to be solved. The Bangladesh refugee influx into the Indian territories is still a major problem. The government of Bangladesh, which is harboring the Naxalite groups operating in the eastern region, is a matter of grave concern. Bangladesh continues friendly relations with India. Activity: discuss the role of India in the freedom movement of Bangladesh. The South Asian nations have decided to start a regional association for promoting cooperation called SAARC. In 1985, the SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, came into force. It comprised 7 member nations originally. Afghanistan joined the SAARC as the 8th member. 14th summit held in 2007 at New Delhi. India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Afghanistan are the member nations of SAARC. Aims of SAARC: to improve mutual faith and goodwill among the South Asian nations, to promote the welfare of the South Asian people, to extend cooperation and collaboration in the economic, cultural, technical and scientific fields, to strengthen relations with the developed countries. There are hurdles in the path of progress of member nations as the SAARC members expect unilateral response from India besides expressing fear and suspicion.